Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. Later in the show, Ian Skorodin will tell us about the Native American Media Alliance, advocating for Native American representation in the entertainment industry. And we'll chat with Trevor Begay, owner of Red Running Into Woods, specializing in home decor items with indigenous design.
I'm host Lanasha Pawadi. Two Worlds Native Theater and Performing Arts is dedicated to the craft of performing arts, expressing the duality of the contemporary American Indian through drama, comedy, and storytelling. Here to tell us more is Kim Gleason, Artistic Director of Two Worlds. Hello, Kim, and welcome to our show.
Hello, welcome. Thank you for inviting me into this wonderful circle in Arizona. I'm happy to be here today.
Absolutely. And before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am Kim Gleason, originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Diné, and I am the Artistic Director for Two Worlds, as well as an educator at the University of New Mexico, teaching Native theater there. And I'm also an advocate for as well as film screenings and films, as well as mostly Native theater and performing arts.
Oh, wow.
So, yes.
And kind of talking further about Two Worlds, can you tell us what it is?
Sure. Two Worlds is a Native theater and performing arts organization located in Albuquerque. Of course, we are branching out into different regions like Farmington, New Mexico, Gallup, New Mexico, and hopefully Phoenix in the coming years.
Oh, wow. And how long have you been involved with Two Worlds?
Two Worlds has been founded in 2006, so it's been around quite a bit. I took over as artistic director in 2019, and that was, I took over in 2009. So the years keep passing by so fast. And since then, we've been advocating for full stage productions, stage readings, short film screenings, film and fashion shows as well. And we're happy to just continue that wonderful presentation throughout all Native and Indian countries.
Oh, yeah, that is great. And I know just recently you guys had the second annual Native American Theater Festival. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Our unforgettable celebration of Indigenous cultures, traditions, and stories was held on this past April and May of 2024. It's our second annual Native Theater Festival, and it was full of one original production called Beauty Way Into the Matriarchy, and it also held 3 stage readings at the National Hispanic Culture Center in Albuquerque. This was a collaboration with the National Hispanic Culture Center as well as Two Worlds, and we were happy to bring the power of storytelling and representation in theater in a very positive and representative way for our wonderful artists.
Oh, wow, that is so exciting. And I know you mentioned that Two Worlds is in Albuquerque, but you guys are branching out, and hopefully you do guys come to Phoenix. But how often do you produce shows?
Well, we just got done with producing our second annual theater festival. We have annual gigs mainly in New Mexico. One is for the Racial Day of Healing right around January, as well as small and individual projects, which includes a film screening in Albuquerque in November. November obviously is a important month for all of us Native Americans and Indigenous people. So we try to stay active in November as well and promote a lot of storytelling during the winter time as well. But we've also been able to kind of work with small education projects and bringing the Native youth to understanding that there is Native theater and it does exist, and we're trying to advocate that in Albuquerque now. Our hope is to branch out more of our productions and our presentations in wider scopes, which includes Phoenix as well.
Oh, wow. And tell us about your mission and how this is incorporated into your work.
Well, we have 4 core values that we usually go by, and we value all of these wonderful ideas about how we run our company. One is basically most importantly is advocating for ourselves, for and by our writers and directors and anyone that we work with through a Native lens. Obviously, we try to separate ourselves from a Western lens as much as possible because we believe Native theater and storytelling is unique. It's its own genre, and it's something that hasn't really been offered to the general public in a good way. So we're here to advocate for that, as well as promote and educate our artists. A lot of the ensemble members that we have with Two Worlds get education experience, they get leadership experience, they get acting training, and they also mostly are on all of the full productions that we carry. And we also are trying to bring on a Native youth program this coming year that we can integrate some of that programming to high school and middle school as well.
Wow, that would be a great introduction. And talking about your shows, who writes and produces and acts in the different performances?
The full entire ensemble. We have an artist at large circle that's more than 20 people. It branches out closer to 75 to 100 people. Everyone that has worked with Two Worlds since 2009 has been a huge advocate or has in some way offered their time and dedication to acting, directing, and writing. We have local artists that we usually tend to highlight as much as possible. So if we're in Albuquerque, we'll be highlighting a lot of those playwrights. If we are trying to highlight a certain amount of demographics, then we'll branch out nationally as well. So we work with national and local artists as well. And then we keep other Native sister organizations as well close to us that run theater as well. There's one in Minneapolis, there's one in Los Angeles, there's one in New York. So we all, when we all have a special reading or any type of festival, we try to integrate each other's schedules into that, because we feel that not only Two Worlds should be represented in the Southwest, but everyone in a national level should be brought to Albuquerque or to the Southwest to be represented in a good way. So you don't really have to go to New York or LA to go see Native theater. Our hope, though, in the future, in the years to come, is for Two Worlds to open up their first Native American Performing Arts Center in Albuquerque. I think that's much needed in our community, and with that, we can build economic development projects and job opportunities for not just youth, but our remaining our actual artists that work with us, like our ensemble and other artists that are inspired and influenced by how the arts can offer healing opportunities for our people, as well as talk about tough issues that are hard for us, like the MMIRW movement. We have issues with domestic violence and health issues. Those things that come into our play, we try to find ways that our artists can heal through them, which includes our writers, actors, directors, and behind the scene.
Oh yeah, that would be great. It'd be a great space to kind of, as you mentioned, bring awareness to all of those great topics, and also sharing a lot about their culture and all the storytelling as well. But kind of stepping back a little bit, how did you get interested in theater?
I myself graduated from the University of New Mexico Theater Arts Department, and back in a long time ago, 2005. So I've actually been training for quite a bit, played the cello most of my life, and thought I was going to be a performing arts cellist, which didn't happen, but it led me to the right area, which was Native theater. And at the time, Native theater didn't really have a place in Albuquerque. Maybe it did, but it was hidden. And I was happy to meet all the wonderful playwrights and directors that were coming out of the theater space, and they needed actors, so that's how I jumped on pretty quickly. Two Worlds was founded in 2006, and in 2009 they asked me to take over as artistic director, which was a milestone, which is still with me today. Today I'm still active as artistic director, and there are moments where I can direct and act in certain plays. I was happy to be the Spider-Woman in Beauty Way Into the Matriarchy just recently, and that's going to be touring in different parts of New Mexico, which includes the Farmington, New Mexico event in July.
And talking about artistic director, what do you do as the artistic director?
I wear many hats. I wear many hats. Oftentimes, I'm usually the main person that handles the administrative grant writing. I do a lot of the negotiations, as well as setting up the programming for the Two Worlds calendar year. I'm able to do interviews such as this, as well as promote and advocate for my artists and letting them know that there's some really great talent in New Mexico and in Arizona that we need to highlight and bring to the stage and bring to film and support their careers.
And which is your favorite part about Two Worlds?
Oh my gosh. I think it's probably when the show, I think some of the last shows that we have, the very last show of any show or any performance or presentation is the very last day when it kicks in, where you're like, okay, this is the last day. And now after this, we're done. Well, what do I do with myself for like a month or so until the next one starts? But it's always so unique because, if you get a time to look at the audience at the end, you'll see that you might have changed someone's life. You might have opened the door to some inspiration with how we have grown with Native storytelling and Native theater, and how that's such a big part of my life and being able to share that with Native audiences especially is really inspiring to me, and what motivates me to get myself back up when things don't always work out the way they should. And, as an artistic director, you have to have a very tough skin. Mm-hmm. But I do carry my mother and my matriarchs behind me, and they always offer their love and support. I feel them all the time, as well as the creator, that this is something that was a calling for me, and I don't think I'll ever stop.
Your work is very important, and I'm so excited to hear that you guys are looking into branching out. But kind of talking about your recent festival, do you plan on doing a third annual Native American Theater Festival?
We do. We are planning our next third annual festival, which will take place the first weekend of the Gathering of Nations in Albuquerque. The last 2 years we had it about the same exact time, so we want people to know that there is a Native-led organization with other things that are going on in Albuquerque, and that there's usually 2 weeks of all these festivities that happen, so it'll open up the first week of Gathering Nation and continue on the next weekend after. So we're just that's going to be an annual program that stays, but we've been having opportunities to branch out in parts like Phoenix and Scottsdale to bring something new here that hasn't been shared. So we are just trying to keep the timeline together and hopefully plan something in 2025 in Arizona.
And how do you put out the call for plays?
So we do a 6-month call out for scripts. So if anyone's interested today to send me a script, you can send that to us at our email address. We take in scripts all the time. There's not really a time frame. If we really enjoy working with a playwright, which there are several of them that we keep on our plate because they're doing such phenomenal work and they're continuously rebuilding and understanding that a lot of things have changed as Native people, even after COVID. Our lives continue to change. Even now, this year, being such a political year, it's important for us to advocate what we are doing, not only in different types of sectors like business and health and really important opportunities or places as we should be, but also the arts should be represented in those places. And the playwrights that I know and continue to support are just on the scope of wanting to have current times and let people know that Natives exist right now in this time frame. We're not historical. We're not going to go anywhere, and you should really trust what we have to say.
Yes, definitely. And what advice would you give to someone who's interested in pursuing theater or performing arts?
Oh my gosh. Well, I remember being a little girl, not a little girl, but a young woman, not sure if this was my calling. I have always had that voice, that outside voice telling me you're not good enough. You're native. You how could you make it into the arts? You're not this. You're not that. And it was really the voices that were telling me that. And I think you really just have to shut those voices off and really be your own best friend and your own advocate and your own cheerleader, and tell yourself every day, wake up, dust yourself off, and try again. And I think a lot of the traditional part of what I believe in, from being Dene and a Dene woman, that my ancestors never gave up. And so I shouldn't feel like I give up because society tells me that I'm not good enough. They just haven't discovered what is new and out there yet. And I think that, what the system tells us, we need to reorganize and reclaim ourselves in those systems, including the arts. We don't need the entertainment industry to tell us what we can and cannot do. That's why Two Worlds is such a big advocate of doing things for ourselves, by ourselves. And most of the time, a lot of our native storytelling has never really been for the money. It's been for the tradition and the culture and the survival of our arts and the survival of our storytelling. So I would say, if you're going into this field, don't be afraid. Take each step little by little. For us, we can make it at any age, I think, and we have the strength of our ancestors to guide us.
Yes, definitely. That's great advice for all areas of life. Kim, can you tell us, how can our listeners find more information about Two Worlds and upcoming events, and who can they contact for further questions?
Sure. You are welcome to contact me, Kim, at Two Worlds. So that's www.twoworldsnm.org. And that'll show you a list of programming and calendar events, upcoming opportunities, our mission statement, all about our board members and ensemble members there. You can also follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Facebook. We took ourselves out of Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And we are hitting a couple more platforms this coming year, but you can find us on mainly the popular social media platforms. And you can always email us at twoworlds.nm, as in New Mexico.org. So that's twoworlds.nm.org.
Perfect. Well, I'd like to thank you, Kim, for coming in today to tell us about Two Worlds and also your journey on being an artistic director and giving us some great advice.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful summer and go see some Native theater out there.
Coming up on Native Talk Arizona, Ian Skorodin will tell us about the Native American Media Alliance. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 2423 West Dunlap Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. For more information, call 602-279-5262 or visit our webpage at nativehealthphoenix.org.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm host Lanasha Pawadi. Eden Skorodin is the CEO of the Barsid Foundation and Director of Strategy for the Native American Media Alliance. advocating for Native American representation in the entertainment industry, and is a resource for industry personnel to work with Native American to have an authentic voice for film, television, and new media. Hello, Ian, and welcome to our show.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And before we get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, and your background?
Sure, yeah. So I'm Choctaw from Oklahoma. I was raised in Oklahoma and Chicago. I went to the University of Oklahoma and then graduated from New York University's film school. While at NYU during the summer break, I wrote, produced, and directed a feature film, a narrative drama titled Tushka, and premiered at Sundance, won Best Feature at the Arizona International Film Festival, and screened at several film festivals around the world. So after I did a festival tour, I moved to LA in '99 and saw there was no genuine connection between the Native community and the entertainment industry. So the first thing that I set out to do was to launch a film festival that actually supported Native filmmakers in a genuine way. Having been to several film festivals with my own work, I saw the value that film festivals should provide when film festivals are actually genuine in that way, where they actually are providing something for the filmmakers that show their films there. You know, it shouldn't just be a screening. It should provide at least three different kind of opportunities to make it genuine. One being a great screening with a great audience in a great venue. So we are housed at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. It's a historic, iconic venue for films and has a lot of history and very inspirational for Native filmmakers when they screen there. And it's supported by several, not only community organizations in Los Angeles and tribes, but also several entertainment entities, several studios and networks. And then we also provide potential distribution opportunities. You know, we partner with outlets to provide potential cable and streaming distribution opportunities for our filmmakers. We've had several filmmakers show their work on Comcast or through AT&T's own streaming services. And then we also provide a community of like-minded artists who have similar goals to become more accomplished in their careers. We have a community of Native filmmakers and fellows of our programs that attend the festival every year and provide a really strong community as well.
Going into the Native American Media Alliance, can you tell us more about that?
So the Native American Media Alliance helps Native artists gain creative and professional development through an array of vital programs that include the TV Writers Lab, which recently wrapped its 9th year. And these are all more or less multi-week programs. We also have the Writers Seminar. This is for new writers, and that just concluded its 4th year. We also have the Feature Film Lab, and we'll be announcing the selected fellows for the upcoming 7th year very soon. We have a showrunner program. This is basically where we'll have Native writers who have been through one of our programs and gone on to staff on a television show or sell a project. And then we pair them with a television executive producer. And over several months, they work together, and the Native writer learns how to advance themselves in their writing career. And they also develop a new series together. That is actually in its 5th year right now. And then we also have an animation lab every December that helps Native artists, Native filmmakers, Native writers with an animation project. And over the week-long animation lab, they develop that into a pitch where they get to pitch their either a television series or feature film in animation to animation studios and networks as well. And then we have an unscripted workshop for documentary filmmakers in the fall, and that's actually entering its 4th year, and we're taking applications for that now. And then we also have a few other programs. We have a grant program in partnership with Netflix that awards $10,000 to writers that participate in our various initiatives. Netflix was using a lot of our resources and hiring a lot of fellows from our programs. They decided that they wanted to reinvest, and this is the best way they felt that they could do that. And then we also provide studios and networks with cultural competency. As we see, they still struggle to vet Native people and those who claim Native identity and may not be authentic. So we help with that as well. We're seeing that is still a big issue in our community. And, it's really tough, I guess, for studios and networks to sometimes acknowledge what that means. It's still a problem where we're seeing that quite a bit.
Oh, wow, that is so awesome. You do have a variety and a lot of initiatives and programs. Are all of these held in person or kind of like a hybrid kind of session?
Everything was in person before the pandemic, of course. The one silver lining too that was, everything was over Zoom or virtual, and so what that allowed us to do was it allowed Native artists who could not afford to be in LA for several weeks, because of the financial barriers and challenges there. We were able to provide everything through Zoom and online, and we have a lot more artists who are able to participate in our programs. We still keep all of our programs online. Our film festival is in person, and that's really like our culminating event for the year, where we bring all of our fellows, new filmmakers, returning filmmakers all together, and it's a 6-day event where there's screenings, there are receptions every night or after parties. We have the Hollywood Powwow that takes place right next door to the Chinese Theater. And of course, we have an award show as well at the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood. It's all centered right there in Hollywood, all within a small area. Yeah, for the most part, all of our Native American Media Alliance programs are online, and our film festival is in person.
Okay. And who is eligible to apply for these programs?
So specifically, let's say right now we're taking applications for the Unscripted Workshop, and that is a week-long program that has Native American documentary filmmakers, journalists, producers, filmmakers, with a feature documentary idea or a docu-series idea. And over the week, we basically have them meet with different outlets like CNN, A&E, Sony Pictures, different networks and studios that seek out unscripted programming. And I guess, just to be clear on what unscripted is, it encompasses documentary, journalism, reality, lifestyle, sports, anything that's not scripted, like narrative. And so any Native filmmaker that or producer or artist that has an unscripted project, over the week we have them meet with all these entities to learn more about the industry. They learn more about studios and networks that have a brand and specific projects they look for, and so Native filmmakers learn about what studios and networks they fit in best with, because they're not a fit in with every single one. So, they have a specific voice. And these studios and networks are looking for new voices, and some of them they'll really fit in best with certain studios and networks. So we try to give them that opportunity so they can learn about each one, and then try to develop that relationship. So then over the week they meet with them to kind of a general meeting, learn about them, and then in the afternoon they meet with artists in the unscripted industry. So producers in the field that are producing projects with different networks and studios and unscripted, and then they also learn how to pitch to them, etc. And then they develop their own project in the evening where they go over their own project. They develop a pitch deck that they pitch at the end of the week to executives, and they get feedback. And the overall goal is that they can develop their network, and have more opportunity to share their projects. The overall goal, of course, is we hope that the networks and studios will fall in love with their projects, and that they want to pursue the filmmaker more. And hopefully it's with the project they're working on, or maybe the studio and network have a project they're working on and they like the skill set of the filmmaker and they want to hire them. But most importantly, the Native filmmaker learns how to better pitch their project, develop their project, and then expand their network, so they have additional people beyond their friends and family that they could share their work with and get feedback on. So going back to your question about who can apply, it's for basically any Native person who is passionate about a unscripted project that they're working on, and has the ability to commit to not only developing their project, but learning more about the unscripted industry, and then helping other Native filmmakers help better and improve their projects as well.
Wow, it does sound like an amazing opportunity. How many people are chosen, and is this a competitive application process?
It is a competitive application process. It just depends on the group. Sometimes typically we choose approximately 10, but that number can vary. It just depends on depending on the capacity we have, and then also just the group. Do the personalities mesh, and is it, are they really bring something unique and new to the overall workshop process?
And what initiatives or programs will you have following the unscripted workshop?
So the workshop takes place like the first week of October approximately. And then our film festival takes place in November. And then our animation lab is in December. So when the unscripted workshop ends, at least the application review process, we'll probably be opening the animation lab for applications in October, September, somewhere around there.
And can you share with us what one of your favorite success stories?
The main thing that we try to do is really develop just great Native artists, great artists, talented artists that happen to be Native. Because what we see with the industry right now is a lot of Native TV shows are ending or being canceled. So the popularity there of hiring Native artists, Native writers, etc., came and went. So what we are proudest of is that a lot of our the other writers who went through our programs that are Native went on to write for shows that are not Native themed. For example, we had a writer go on to write for The Connors on ABC, Ghost on CBS, a few shows. There's several shows on, or The Great North on Fox. It's an animated series, and a few shows on Paramount. And those shows aren't Native themed. So, like, for example, when the strikes ended last year, a lot of the minority or diverse shows were canceled, to save money. But the non-Native shows went forward. Those immediately went back. All those writers went back to work. So those writers who are in our programs immediately went back to work. So what our goal is to develop just great artists, again, that happen to be Native. Because these artists, being Native is only a part of who you are. You're your own individual with a unique voice, and part of that is being Native. But it doesn't encompass everything you are. It's just a piece of you, and it develops. It's an important piece that helps develop your voice. But we want artists to stand on their own talent and merit, and go beyond just being a Native writer, but being a great writer and being hired for that purpose.
And what suggestions do you have for individuals in college who are interested in pursuing a career in writing, filmmaking, or producing?
To have as many irons in the fire as possible. You can't you have to be producing your own content on the side and being very creative about how you go about developing your career. The industry, the entertainment industry and media overall is constantly evolving now. We all hear about artificial intelligence doing a lot of the work now. That's a big part of it. But also, the traditional studios and networks, they're going through a huge overhaul. They lost billions of dollars trying to launch streaming services that didn't pan out. So now they're having to kind of figure out how to recoup those losses. And one way of that is to do less buying and less producing. And then a lot of them are merging and looking at mergers, and so that the playing field is getting smaller and smaller. And then also the younger generation is not used to watching media the same way the older generation is. So social media is really taking a big chunk out of viewership. And also social media doesn't pay well to social media influencers. A lot of people really can't make a living doing that. And so just to really have an understanding of how everything is evolving and being a part of that, being an artist that is fulfilling to you, and then also being able to make a living all at the same time. So that just keeping all those things in mind is really important as we move forward and as media continues to evolve.
And finally, how can our listeners find more information about the Native American Media Alliance and the various current and upcoming programs, and how can they contact you?
So if you go to www.nama, so Native American Media, basically nama.media, that's our website. You can also go to laskinsfest.com. That's our film festival. And those are the two websites that are the best way to reach us. Just emailing us. We have contact forms there, but also contact at NAMA Media or contact at laskinsfest.com. Those are the best ways to reach us.
Perfect. I would like to thank you, Ian, for taking the time out to talk to us today to tell us about all of this amazing programs and initiatives that you have to offer with the Native American Media Alliance.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Up next on Native Talk Arizona, Susan Levy chats with Trevor Begay, owner of Red Running Into Woods. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 2423 West Dunlap Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. Native Health's patient enrollment specialist can help you enroll, renew, or update your access information. This can be done in person, on the phone, or via Zoom, days or nights. It's fast, easy, and can make a difference in keeping your health care coverage. For more information, call 602-285-9492.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy, and in the studio with us today is Trevor Begay, and he's from Red Running Into Woods, and he specializes in home decor items with indigenous designs. So we're super excited to have you here, and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. So, Trevor, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am 29 years old, full-blooded Navajo, born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona, and I started a business called Red Running Into Woods 2 years ago, and I'm happy about it.
Okay, so tell me something. What does the name mean?
Red Running Into Woods was actually inspired by my clan's Tachini, which refers to red running into the water people, I believe. And from there, I just took the red running, and rather than running into the water, I'm running into the woods with my designs, being wooden designs. So that really brought,
kind of it all together.
Yes, brought everything all together.
So are you a woodworker by trade, or did you have experience in woodworking?
Not exactly. I started with just wood burning designs and painting them, and then at this moment, I'm starting to get into more of the woodworking trait, as in joint cutting and putting that together. So it's a lot of fun.
So you're an artist, though?
Artist at heart, yes.
Artist at heart. Okay. All right. Very cool. So what was the inspiration or motivation to getting started, to starting your small business, Red Running Into Woods? Did you just wake up one day and say, I want to do this? Or had you been thinking about it? Or have you always wanted to be a small business owner?
Motivation would be my family and friends, their feedback most likely, and everything they tell me. I pretty much didn't see myself doing this a few years ago. I just designed my products, and having people come up to me and telling myself, saying that, wow, your artwork is so beautiful, you could sell that, and just kept hearing that. At first, it made me laugh, and I was like, come on, just joking around. But hearing so much feedback about it, actually, I was like, okay, I'll give it a try, posted it, and then family started contacting me, started saying, hey, Trevor, can you make me certain items? Can you make me this? And I posted that on my page, and that started getting new customers, and it so forth grew into a business, and so here I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so what products do you have?
Products, my main big one would start off with my Navajo basket clocks. There are a 12 inches by 12 inches circle, and with the Navajo basket design. All around it, you can have a silver or gold hardware, 1, 2, 3, 4, like a clock, and very beautiful. It stands out, especially in the room. So my next design would be my Hogan design key holders, which has like a nice sunset in the background, and you're able to put your mail in there, like a mail slot, and it's designed to like a Hogan in front. It's like a 3D design. It's very nice, and on the bottom you can have 3 to 4 key holders that you can hang your keys up, your badges, anything you like.
That's cool. So those are your top 2 designs.
Top 2, yes.
And so where do you sell these?
I sell them on my page on Instagram. I sell them on Facebook. You can look them up on Red Running Into Woods. And I get a lot of views and attractions from TikTok that bring in customers as well.
Okay. You sell anything like Etsy or anything like that?
Yes, Etsy is a main one too also. This year I'm really trying to boost up my Etsy sales and trying to get more people into Etsy. So,
do you also attend community events and sell things, or is it just direct, mostly social media and Etsy?
I have attended events before. I've attended a casino at Twin Arrows. I've attended over there. I think it was around Veterans Day. That went very well. I signed up. I actually sold out. That was my first event. I was very proud of myself with that. Next event was Tempe Center of Arts.
Oh, yeah.
Tempe
Center for the Arts.
Yes.
That's a big one.
That was a good one, too, with OXDX, if I'm correct.
Yep.
They're,
at Tempe Center for the Arts. Yep, with OXDX, with
yes.
Jared. Yep.
Yeah, and
yep.
I actually sold out over there, too, selling my clocks. So
see, there you go.
Yeah, one of a kind. So
yeah, and the crowds tell you what they like.
Exactly, and I stick to it.
Okay, so question. So how's your background, both professionally and culturally, influenced your growth as a small business owner? Did it prepare you, or is this all new territory in being in small business? You never thought you were going to be a small business owner, right?
No.
Okay, so you're just learning one step at a time?
Basically, I've gained like all my knowledge, soaked in all my knowledge from like watching videos, from watching TV networks that involve business traits. So after getting all that and mixing my cultural differences with it, they mix very well together with my artistic cultural items, and bringing my business ideas with it. Everything works out well so far. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you're just starting. So have you had any challenges? Do you find anything hard? Is it hard to source some of the products?
I mean, my main challenges were basically trying to find the margins, knowing the market, business things like that, knowing the area, knowing the people that sells. The events I never knew about. Like when I was first starting off, I never knew there was a whole community that came together and started selling products like this here in the Valley. It wasn't until I started looking more into the Indian Center and even Native Health right here that they started posting it on their page, and I started looking into that and seeing the whole community come together, an indigenous community come together selling their products, and what they made actually is what I really like. And yeah, with the challenges, lots of challenges every day. Love it, and I look forward to challenges.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Challenges brings growth is what I look forward to.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have a challenge and you're not learning something new all the time and how to confront it and overcome it, and now like you said, what the market wants. So they want your clocks and they want the Hogan keychain. Correct. Or the key holder. I mean, and they've spoken. And so you're responding to that. That's pretty cool. Yes. And that you're growing and selling more. So obviously you incorporate your heritage into your designs. How do you kind of keep refining them, or do you think of new products and then like what are you going to expand to maybe for the holidays this year? Have you given that any thought? Or are you going to stick with those two things or kind of change them a little bit?
Oh no, I got a lot more designs
You're working on?
I'll be working on that I think about a lot. Especially during the holidays and certain seasons, that's another challenge you got to think about and be ready for. I heard that Nike's like 2 years already planning ahead for their, certain stock that they're going to be dropping.
Oh, yeah.
As that's a business strategy as it is. So thinking about that makes me think like I should be a year ahead of myself already working on seasonal products. So at this moment, I'm already thinking about Halloween products, Christmas products that I'm working on. So
that's
hopefully
good.
They'll be dropping and new designs.
Because it's going to be here before you know it.
Yes, exactly.
And people start shopping early.
Yes.
Especially on Etsy. Okay, so does your business contribute or do you get involved? You did kind of mention that you do work with other indigenous small businesses, like you said, OXDX and attending other events.
Right.
All right, so we've got that. And then have you experienced any positive impact or support from the community? It sounds like they come out and they buy your products, but are people supporting you and assisting you?
I got a major impact from that. The main thing I really love doing is just going out and supporting them and getting their feedback and seeing them at these events, like I said. And from just doing that, they tend to notice me and notice that I tell them all the time that I'm buying their products so I can give it away for free on my page. And I can tag them in the videos. I can tag them in pretty much spreading awareness to them too as well, from not just buying but also doing what I like. So
that's a great strategy. Good idea.
Right.
So do you have any success story or a memorable moment from your journey as a small business owner? Was it maybe your first sale or somebody saying, wow, you could sell this, or what a great product?
Yes. My very successful moment would have been when I was at the Twin Arrows casinos. I had like a whole goal and a whole list of things I had planned, like my setup. It had to be at like a certain eye level so everyone wouldn't just walk by and look down. And just seeing at that, I had Yachts Ahead signs on top of my displays where everyone can see, and just having my designs even pop out as it is. My setup had a yellow logo, so you cannot, you
can't miss it.
You can't miss it. Yeah, exactly.
Draws your eye in.
So
okay.
Just having those goals and accomplishing those goals, that was successful. And seeing that plan out to selling out my my products, that was successful. And I didn't even think I was going to sell out. I was just thinking about selling, 2, 3, that was it, and I was happy with that. But selling the whole thing, I was like, wow, okay, maybe it's going somewhere.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. I know you mentioned the burning wood. What kind of wood are you using?
Right now I'm using oak wood, but I've used redwood on certain items. And just experimenting with certain wood, that's another thing I'm challenging myself to do, is learning the different types of wood that I can mess around with. Cedar and oak wood, yes.
That's really hard.
A lot of
it's
oak
a
wood,
hard
yes.
wood, right? Really super hard?
Yes, it is.
So do you burn, you get the wood, and I don't know a lot about woodworking, but you get the wood and then you make it into the shape where it comes like that, and then you do your burning and your painting?
So yes, I when to start with the product with my clocks, I usually buy it already pre-cut. So pretty much after that, I do have to trace the design onto the product, and it's a flat surface. So on the back, I do have to router a hole in the back of it so I can put the battery and the mechanicalism. And so doing all that, having design in the front traced out, I do wood burn that design. And after I do wood burn it, I paint it, I stain it, I touch it up, and I spray it with a nice protective coat, nice and shiny, dry it out, and it looks nice and clean.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen the photos. It's gorgeous. That sounds like that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And right now, I try, from the business perspective, you got to try to, you have a certain time that you try to, you break down your time, and you try not to waste time. So with that, I've already, have a whole strategy of trying to make my clocks, basically.
Okay, since that's your number one seller. All right. So do you have any advice for other Indigenous individuals wanting to start their own businesses?
Yes, just do it. That's it. Just do it.
Get
It's
up and
tough.
do it?
It's tough, yeah, but you'll never know the outcome until you do it.
Okay.
So
That's a good message, and that's a good thing to do. Get up and just do it.
basically, yeah.
Okay, and so finally, how can listeners find out more information about Red Running into Woods, and how can they contact you?
Yes, you can find us on social media at Red Running Into Woods, on TikTok, Instagram, and even Facebook. I repeat, Red Running Into Woods.
Okay, any underscores in there, or just Red Running into Woods?
One word,
Okay.
yes.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come in and talk to us, Trevor. It's been interesting, and I'm going to keep following you and get some of your items.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, supported by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. Audio editing by Javier Quiroga, and the executive producer is Susan Levy. And I'm host Lanasha Puwadi. We hope you tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please email us at nativetalkaz@radiophoenix.org.